Thank you so much for inviting me here. And I think that's the most beautiful description anybody can have, Desh Ki Beti. And I think all of us feel so strongly about our purpose in our lives, how we can contribute to our country, and how really we can work towards the target of being a developed country, Viksit Bharat. And I think that is a goal which is very deeply imprinted in our minds. You know, education is really movement from darkness to light. It is that noor, it is that light that alters our being. So I'm very grateful to be amongst all of you luminaries, shining lights, beacons of education. And I really want to express my thanks to all of you, my deep gratitude for working in this field, for really instilling great values through your educational institutes and offering centers of excellence. When we talk about India becoming a great country, being a great country, you know where that greatness is derived from, all of you here. So I really want to say a deep felt gratitude and thanks to each one of you. So I want a huge round of applause for each one of you because of the role you're playing in making our Bharat Mahan. Friends, as you mentioned earlier, I'm busy on television debates. I have to go at 5 o'clock again to wear my political hat. But nothing gives me more pleasure than being here. You've all read and been through the national education policy. I would like to just draw light on it. But before I go, I want to tell you the importance of teachers, as my predecessor speaker was talking about, sir, the role of teachers. And you know, I was on television just day before yesterday, and they were talking about, it was a political conversation, as you know, and I don't want to bring politics in this because education is something that should be left sacred beyond politics. But they were talking about some parties not getting along with other parties and whatever. And I started thinking of, and I just came out of my mouth, I said, yeah, if you were to make a Venn diagram, you know, it would look like how many parties get along. And I suddenly remembered the face of my teacher, Mrs. Prabhu, explaining Venn diagram. And imagine what I learned 30 years back, 35 years back, suddenly flashed. The teacher, St. Mary's Convent, Kanpur. Oh, wonderful. Oh, I see, wonderful. So I remembered Mrs. Prabhu and that blackboard and me learning, and that diagram stayed in my mind. And who were to know, and who could guess so many years later, it would just flash. That is the importance of education and a good teacher. It all stays with you. When every time we talk about the preamble, I remember my civics teacher, my political science teacher, and I remember what they said. So it's all a function of what kind of mentorship, teaching you've had. And there's some subjects I just did very badly in. You know why? Because my teachers were not interested. So there's never a bad student, really. It's very important that teachers instill and encourage students to do better. Something small on the new education policy, all of you are very well aware of it. It's a great time to work towards it, to work within that framework. It's a visionary document, NEP 2020, and it's a very huge step. We all know that it's so important to have education as a holistic, flexible, and inclusive medium. It has to be technology-oriented, and you're realizing how important it is to upgrade ourselves to the new threats and to the new means, whether it's AI or other aspects of technology, how to use it to our advantage before it consumes us. So NEP really stands as a testament to Modi ji's government to empower the youth. And I really feel that India has been revered for years as a cradle of civilization, learning. And I think all of us bow our heads when it comes to Goddess Saraswati. So, and which is why when we talk about NEP, of course it looks at the curriculum in a different way, but also it keeps in mind the values of ancient wisdom and the importance of our education being imbued with the civilizational ethos of who we are as a people, Bhartiya or Bhartiyata. The Indian traditions have always considered pursuit of knowledge, wisdom, and truth. ज्ञान हो, प्रज्ञा हो, सत्य हो, उसकी परस्यूट, उसकी तलाश हमेशा रही है और ये हमारी जन चेतना का हिस्सा है. You know, the British education, the Macaulayization of education that happened really led to a certain kind of learning, creation of clerks and bureaucrats to control the natives. But now you see, in the NEP, when you look at it, we are looking at ourselves with pride and dignity, placing value on our mother tongue as a medium of instruction, and not just that, including us ourselves as an integrated parts of a syncretic culture. So the remarkable changes that have happened in the NEP, whether it's reconfiguration of school education, whether it's a curriculum or pedagogical structure of school education, it has been reinvented to effectively respond to the needs of children between 3 and 18. Let's look at the National Mission of Foundational Literacy and Numeracy, how important it is, and we're looking at educating at least 5 crore people to be able to be literate and have the basic idea of numeracy. Whether it's Diksha, which is digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing, or it's working on cutting down on dropping existing dropout rates, especially post-grade 5 and grade 8. Even in vocational education, pardon me, as vocational education gets a boost with National Skills Qualifications Framework, recognizing prior learning experience, the NEP envisages integration of vocational education into school and higher education structure. So friends, you know more about it than I do. I want to say again that you are the leading lights. You are the luminaries. You will carry the nation forward with your wisdom. It's a very important responsibility you all have on your hands. It's very precious, it's very special, and I think at all times, the idea to impart education, not only in the university or school hours, but at all points of time. When we're learning and teaching, when we're continuing to be inspired as we inspire, it's so important. All my good wishes to you. Ravish is such a special friend and my brother, not like my brother, but my brother, and I feel so honored to be in this Mahakumbh of educationists. It is wonderful. This is a place to be. Let's all dip in this ocean of learning. एक डुबकी लगाते हैं इस महाकुंभ में, सच में, और उसी जो ज्ञान की पवित्रता है ना, उससे नहाकर निकलते हैं और फिर रोशनी बिखेरने का काम करते हैं. So you are that noor, you are that shakti, you are that glory that makes India what it is. A truly great nation which has really to fulfill its purpose, its actualization as a leader of the world. Vishwamitra and Vishwaguru. Jai Hind. Thank you so much.